Welcome to another episode of the Prep Coach podcast, and I'm super excited to have the boys so that we can do this review of what was an absolutely epic weekend. MG, I don't know about you, but how are you feeling? Have you come back down yet? Back to reality, back into life? Have you come back to life? Let's say that.
Man, what a crazy weekend. You know, the highs were constant, and then I think the hardest thing is then trying to get back into the rhythm of being a coach as well. Literally, we landed at call it lunchtime Monday, and I started my check-ins at about 1:30, I think, and normally I do about 20 on a Monday. I did my last one at 10:50 p.m. Monday night, non-stop all the way through, man. So that was a battle, but wow, what a weekend, what a group of competitors. The quality on stage was absolutely phenomenal. The pro lineups were absolutely epic. Some of the amateur physiques that were on stage that we hadn't seen yet because they were from Brisbane were phenomenal. And, the judging on the day I thought was absolutely fantastic. It would have been a very tough job. There was some lineups, and I know we'll get into this, but, the men's fitness lineup, the bikini lineups, some of these overalls where you had 6, 7, 8 division winners standing next to each other from where I was standing as MC side stage. And I took some videos on my page, on my story from the side stage at just how quality it looked, literally from the first competitor down to the last. So I just had such an incredible weekend, as I'm sure you boys did as well. But looking forward to what's next, which is Bali. I'm grateful that we've got one more opportunity to be able to do it this season, because I just feel like I'm not quite done yet. I've got a little bit more to give. So, yeah, Bali's going to be epic, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for Bali. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We're running our first show there. It's going to be big. I know Scotty's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on organising the stage and how everything's going to look. And
can we get Scotty just to give everyone just a little bit of a teaser as to what is that Bali stage setup going to look like? Because I don't think we've really made many announcements about it, but even for anyone who was on the fence, do you want to just give them a bit of insight as to what we've got planned?
Yeah, man. So the venue that we are running our event at is the Sunset Road Convention Center, which is absolutely amazing. When we went over in March, when MT and I went there, we actually, no, I think I went before we went, didn't I? I went and had a look at it on the way over when I was on the way to the UK with Jen, and they were actually undergoing some renos when we were there. And when we went back in March and had a look, it was incredible. And equally, when we went back, I checked in on it on my way back from the UK, and again, it was just the front facade is really improved, really nice. And equally, you basically go up these escalators, and it's all glass. It's beautiful. We're going to have this massive four-way area. It's so open. It's probably, I reckon it'd be close to 50 meters easily, wouldn't it, MT? In terms of length, it's probably 10, 12 meters in width, and it's just open, massive athlete area, tanning. And then when you enter the actual, the main area, the plaza or whatever they refer to it as, it's incredible that there's the gold everywhere. But when you walk in, we're having custom lighting and rigging set up. The stage, we've got an LED screen on both sides. We've got a live stream running. From a production perspective, it'll be the guys that are doing it. They usually do 50,000 pop concerts in Asia and stuff. So they were talking different types of tech that is well over my head. MT probably had more of an idea of what they were talking about in comparison to that. But the way that we're putting it on, we wanted to put on a spectacle, and we're sparing no expense to make sure that it is incredible. We want to highlight all of the different nationalities. We've got athletes from Indonesia, from Australia, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, and there was one more, wasn't there?
China, potentially, yeah.
Yeah, and the China guys as well. So I think, having that, and for our first international show, we wanted to make sure that, we really put on a spectacle. So it's going to be pretty special. Equally, I'm excited to see, some of the talent that we saw at the weekend on the nationals. There's a few who obviously got their pro card, but some of those lineups were so deep, and to know that there's probably at least 3 probably in most of the open classes and overalls that contended that are probably pro worthy, but just because the lineups are so stacked, they missed out. And so having a lot of those guys come to Bali is another opportunity to go round two. And there's probably a few as well that we've been speaking to the last few days that, we're potentially debating, do I come, do I not? And obviously now that they know that they were so close, that are potentially going to come across. And I think as an athlete, that one last ditch to go at it and to go after that pro card is obviously something that, you don't want to pass up, because we spend so long in a contest prep dieting. And when you're this close, and equally to have a show and to finish in Bali, and equally I'm a bit biased because I always like to finish my contest preps personally there, because I think it's a nice transition to exiting prep, lots of good food, good weather. Most people are pretty banged up towards the back end of prep. And obviously we've got our retreat that is going to be following that the day afterwards. So we're going to have a really big couple of weeks there, but equally, I know I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, but we just can't wait to get there, finish strong, run another amazing event, and then run an awesome retreat. So I'm looking forward to getting the sun and getting over to Bali. It's the island of the gods, as they refer to, but it's beautiful, and it'll be a nice way to wrap up the year.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there were a couple of people, obviously in every single overall and every single lineup, that just missed out on that pro card, and they were definitely pro quality. So, come over to Bali in, about a week and a half and just get it done. Just finish your season on a high, and just go for that pro card, because they're definitely up for grabs, and people are coming over to get it done. So I'm excited. But yeah, the lineups over the weekend, and I don't want to sound biased, but some of the best quality I've seen in a very, very long time. And even just sitting next to other people that are within the sport, and just saying, this is amazing. Like that bodybuilding pro lineup was ridiculous. I know, Scotty, you and I, we kind of climbed over everyone to get to the middle seats. And I don't know about you, but I got a little bit emotional watching those boys, because I was like, this is incredible. As like a fan of the sport, I was like, I'm just so happy to see these guys on stage battling it out, and those physiques are absolutely incredible. What did you think, Scotty, about that? Not only just that lineup, but just the lineups that we had.
Yeah, man, I think I was pretty open around the fact that I was very excited to see the pro bodybuilding lineup. Obviously, the return of Big Nate, and then obviously Damo and Ross jumping back in there. And I was really impressed with Ross as well. I thought his conditioning was absolutely incredible. I've seen him compete previously, and I thought he was really, really improved. And equally, it's the first time, actually, no, it's the second time I've seen Damo, but I thought by a mile, and again, I didn't see him in the flesh at WMBF, but he was much fuller. His conditioning was awesome, and he definitely pushed Nate. There were some shots where you're like, man, Damo's looking lethal. But for me, obviously, when Nate turned to the rear and you just saw the density in those hamstrings, and he's got those, world famous glutes, he was just absolutely, incredible. And I thought Nick Hanna did a really good job, holding his own in a really, really impressive lineup. For me, I saw him in Victoria, and I was like, well, I reckon he'll be in the mix at Nationals. But to be able to jump in the lineup, even the amateur lineup, like he was able to pit Isaac, who I thought, to be honest, going into that show, I thought he was going to be the one to beat after seeing him in Sydney the week before. He was super impressive. But yeah, Nick was awesome, managed to get the W, and then stepped into that pro lineup. And even seeing Nick and Isaac and some of the other boys that were in that lineup, it was top notch. It really was. The Masters gentleman, what was his name?
Sal Lawrence.
Even him, like seeing him backstage, even at the check-in, I was like, just super impressed. I'm like, at your age, to be doing what you're doing to the standard, his conditioning was phenomenal. Like, forget Masters Pro conditioning, he was pro level, every day of the week. So that was absolutely incredible to see those guys go at it. And to be fair, I actually spoke to Damo and Nate after the pro lineup, and they were both like Cook, saying that, Jesus, that's the hardest that they've had to work in some time. So we had them doing, round after round after round. They're up there for a good 20, 25 minutes with a 5-minute pose down. I was exhausted watching them. So that was impressive. I thought the classic lineups were really good as well. It was really nice to meet James, who ended up taking the pro card. He was an existing an INBA pro, I believe. And he was super impressive in the classic division. And then you had Michael, who managed to pip him in the men's physique division. Equally the best, I think, that he's looked. And then in the fitness division, you had his name escapes me, but it's Dan Chappelle's competitor. He won the amateur, and
John.
Yeah,
Only.
man, he was just night and day in a class above everyone else. His symmetry, his posing, I couldn't fault him. For me, looking at that type of aesthetic, like that's men's fitness. So fair to say, natural bodybuilding is alive and very well. So again, not being biased because obviously it was our show, but it probably was across the board one of the most impressive, natural nationals that I've seen in a very long time.
We actually did have a couple of instances where an amateur came in, won their amateur lineup, got their pro card, went into the pro show, and then got the overall in the pro too. That happens obviously in men's fitness, but it also happened in bikini. And obviously wellness was the first time I ran wellness, but obviously it doesn't occur in wellness, but it definitely happened in a couple of divisions throughout the day, or the 2 days, which was absolutely incredible. Obviously we gave that Undisputed Pro belt to the overall pro champion, which I know everyone loved. We actually got a message, someone sent a message to the potty as a question saying, how do I get one as an amateur, or can I buy one? And no, like it's only exclusive for the Undisputed Pro Champion once a year, only in the spring season. We're going to be giving those away, and they're epic, like massive NBA emblem honestly in the middle. We've got Undisputed Pro Champ of the Year. Then on one side in a little plaque is the division, and on the other side in the other little plaque is the 4 directors' names and their signatures and saying approved by. So they're absolutely crazy. It's something that we came up with at the start of the year and we designed back then. And obviously we kind of alluded to it throughout the potty and also, throughout some content that we put on NBA about Undisputed Pro Champ. And people can kind of get the gist that, well, it's going to be something like a belt or something like that. So when we kind of revealed it, everyone was super excited. And obviously the idea that we had, close to a year ago came to fruition, and we gave those belts away. And I want one for myself. They're absolutely epic. So amazing physiques, amazing lineups that we had. Like for that bikini pro lineup, I think it was 9 or 10 deep, was crazy, absolutely crazy. And we had some, existing pros, some new pros in there, some pros from other federations, some invites from the amateur show. It was amazing. And then obviously we had the fitness overall lineup, and we had Debbie get that as the overall, go into the pro show and get second against Amy, which was an absolutely epic lineup. I had Ange, my girl, that got second in the overall, got invited to the pro show, got third. So they also got her pro card there. So there was a lot of pro cards given, but they were very, very hard to get. So obviously we had the overall winner for the amateur gets a pro card. And then in the pro show, if you get top 3 and you're not an NBA pro, then you also get one too. And we had people from other federations that got top 3, got a pro card. We had amateurs that were invited in that beat other existing pros, got a pro card. And obviously we had the Masters pro cards given away too, which I really, really love. There was obviously a lot of special moments, MG, that about on stage, about these Masters competitors that have been in the sport for years. They are incredibly inspiring. They look absolutely amazing for their age. And for them to get, awarded a Masters pro card was a very, very special moment. So I know you were there, MG, presenting those and, pulling them side stage saying, just wait here for a second, guys. We've got something to give you. And some of them had no idea what was happening. How was that for you, MG, giving those out?
Man, some of those moments was honestly the highlights of my weekend, to be honest. Special couple of mentions, interviewing and bringing Nate's kids on stage was pretty special for me. Just having that opportunity to be there and see him have his 2 beautiful girls, I think Evie and Aria, on stage, and give them the mic is something that I spoke to him afterwards and he was just very grateful for. But I'm grateful to be able to provide those opportunities. But some of those Masters Pro cards, I also, above and beyond those Pro cards, I want to make a special mention for one of our incredible Masters competitors, Chrissy, who actually retired, and that was her last show. So first of all, what an honor that, you know, we had the opportunity to provide that experience for her last show. Her friends got flowers for her. Her husband came up stage and presented them for her. An interesting story about her was she actually did the first ever NBA show. And when Stu announced that she was retiring, our head judge, Stewie, the great man, was bawling with tears. So it was a very, very emotional day. But she's an amazing, amazing competitor. But to be there as, you know, one of the first competitors when NBA was, you know, grassroots and really trying to dig its way into the industry, and then be there to retire on, you know, the biggest national show in history, is what she deserves. And I hope we did her justice that day. But congratulations to her, and we hope to have her part of the sport and our federation for many years to come in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that was pretty special. But, you know, some of the Masters competitors that were given pro cards, both men and women, Sal Lawrence, amazing bodybuilder, you know, your amazing athlete, Andrea, in figure, what a top competitor she is. Even some of the men's fitness guys, Anthony Dowson, he was phenomenal. I think he's mid-40s. He was epic as well. And is it Dan as well that you know, was just shredded inside out, veins everywhere, was just like, oh, I just want to see how I go against the young fellas, and man, gave them a push all the way to the end. So, you know, not only did we have quality from an amateur perspective across the board, our Masters 40 plus quality was like I've never seen before in my life. And you look at both men's and women's in the 40 pluses, the mums divisions, you know, these were 9 to 14 deep stacked lineups, and some of these physiques were, as MT said earlier, absolutely pro worthy. So, you know, a couple of cards were handed out, but there could have been more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully it motivates, you know, those Masters competitors, those 40 plus competitors that think, oh, how am I going to go against these young people? I don't know if I should stay in the sport. Keep going, because we see you in a different class. You know, we have that opportunity there that if we think you're at pro quality from a Masters perspective, we'll give you that pro card. So keep going. Like my client, Andrea, the one that won the figure Masters pro card, she's 54 years old. She only started 10 years ago, mid-40s. It's crazy. So we have people, I know I have people in my team that say, oh, Michael, I'm hitting my 40s. Maybe I'm getting a bit too old for this. Look at Andrea. She looks incredible. She mixed it with the best of them that were half her age, and she was beating them from a conditioning perspective. So she looks absolutely amazing. So I motivate, you know, people that are 40 plus, which will be me very, very soon, to keep going, to keep pushing, because there's definitely a lot that you can achieve in NBA and in natural bodybuilding in general. But it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, MG on the mic all day, having to pronounce everyone's name. But I think you were in sometimes the best seat in the house, other than Stewie, is you got to see all the mixed emotions of someone about to go on stage and then someone coming off stage. You know, the nerves, the anxiety, the excitement, and then coming off, and just, you know, the sense of achievement and accomplishment, no matter what they placed. There were so many people that, you know, when we see them backstage and we said, congratulations, you looked amazing, we literally meant it. No matter if they had a 5th place medal on or no medal on or a 1st place, we really meant it, because there were so many incredible competitors out there that hit that stage. So if we went up to you and we said to you, you looked amazing, congratulations, we really, really meant it. We weren't just saying it just to keep you happy, off the cuff comment. There was some very, very impressive physiques, and from a nationals perspective, it was great to see that kind of quality there. So we're really, really happy. I know, Scotty, you had to do some drug testing here and there. You got to speak to some people that obviously had just won their overall, their pro card, etc. How was it when they were, you know, sitting with you in that quiet room, just you know, divulging some of their thoughts?
Yeah, that as well, it is a really special time, I think, as well, because for me it was I try and give them a bit of time, put your stuff down, you know, get some water into you, because you can't just drink water and then you're going to pass it through. It takes a bit of time to actually get to the kidneys, but try and give them, you know, 20 minutes, go be in the moment. But that corridor, because it was so cold, it was almost like that long corridor where no one else was allowed to walk through there, and it would just be them and I walking down. And I would just watch them for the first few steps, looking at their face, and it was just that moment of like realization. I can't believe what I've just done. And then for me to say, how does it feel? You shut the door, we go into that room, and it's like they sit down, and it's a type of smile that you just have to see and equally experience for the first time. And knowing how, being fortunate enough to have been on the other side of having that moment where there's no one else around, there's no crowd, you can just sit there and be like, I can't believe what I actually just did. And to just see that, there's almost an element of relief, of just gratitude, that short-term reflection of what they've just been able to do on that stage. And I'm really lucky because I get about 8 to 10 minutes to ask them questions, to go through the process. And it was really, really special. And in particular, a lot of the girls, Renee sticks in my mind, the pro figure champion, who looked absolutely ridiculous. Seeing what some of these girls as naturals are able to do, it's just as a male competitor, it's really motivating. And just being able to converse with her and just see how much it meant to her, it was really special. And equally the same with with Nath, knowing again how much she'd been through, and the return to the stage and the pressure and the self-doubt. So some people might think, drug testing can be a real drag, but equally to have that moment with that person after they've just done what they've done, it was really cool. So man, overall it was just a very, very successful weekend. And I think the biggest thing that that we take away from it, we have a look at the growth that we've been able to achieve in 12 months. I think natural bodybuilding is very much alive and well, but equally it was nice to have that reinforcement. And even the amount of people that would come up and say, oh my God, this is the most amazing show I've ever been a part of, blah, blah, blah. And equally, you could tell that they meant it because, as athletes and coaches, we really did want to try and make some changes and try and make this a spectacle and a production. And, even the live feed, we got some really good feedback about that. And it's just confirmation that, we know the mission and we're on the right path. And it's very exciting for what the next, 2 to 3 years has installed for NBA.
Man, you know what? One of the things that I got, said to me and about, what we were doing over the 2 days multiple times was how sweet and nice people were to notice, to say things like, I know how busy you guys have been. I know how tired you must be and how many hours you've been working. Thank you for not letting it show. And I got told that multiple times, and I was just like, well, people really are observant and, are really, really sweet to say something like that, because, it has undoubtedly been a little bit of a grind. But to hear people say that on the day, I was like, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing now to continue to make your experience even better. So thank you to anyone who took the time to send us an email, send us a DM, come up to us personally at the show and thank us. So many athletes finished competing, got off stage, and then once they'd had a meal and dressed, came back side stage to say thank you to me just for announcing. Like, people are just so great. And as Scotty said, it just gives me such confidence in where the sport is at the moment. And I just feel like the next 3 years for natural bodybuilding in this country are going to be fucking epic.
Yeah, incredible. We feed off a lot of people's energy because, we're a little bit tired. We're a little bit hungry. We don't get a chance to really eat much. I don't know how many times Scotty and I said, oh man, I haven't even had breakfast yet. Man, I'm fucking starving. But we feed off everyone's energy. And we had the most loveliest comments that came towards us. And we're so incredibly happy. Like, I think even just, at athlete check-in, we rocked up, we got off the plane straight to the venue, started unpacking bags and check-in. And they were like, you guys just got here now? Like, yeah, well, how are you guys doing this? It's because we love what we do. And to meet everyone, and a lot of people listen to the potty too. And we got a lot of great support from those people too. And I've even got some messages that came through directly to the potty saying it was a pleasure to meet you guys. Had an absolutely amazing experience at NBA. This just drives us to keep going even more. So really, really appreciate it. Talking about some figure athletes, I don't want to nitpick or call anyone out, but that's that figure amateur overall winner, and then
Margot.
and then she came second, against Renee in the pro. She's incredible to be under 25. I'm not too sure what her age is, but I know she's under 25.
She is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just everything about her presentation. I was talking to her afterwards when I was doing her drug test, and I'm like, "Did you used to do dancing?" And she's like, "Yeah," because she posed so effortlessly. And watching her, you'd look at everyone else, but just because of the way that she would pose, her look, her aesthetics, like my eyes just kept going like you were just drawn to her all the time. You know, what a physique, what a shape, presented really well, you know. And I think for me, the figure division for females is I know it's easily my most enjoyable division to watch as a spectator now, and probably as a coach as well. And to know that that is the caliber of athlete that is coming through and that is going to drive the figure division, I think it's awesome because, you know, when you have top level pros like Renee leading from the front, and then you've got the next generation coming through like Margot, as we just said, you know, natural bodybuilding is alive and well. And the amount of young girls that will look up to probably both of those athletes and be like, I want to look like her, and knowing that you can absolutely do that and you don't need to rely on pharmacology. You just need to have a vision, be able to work damn hard and continue to beat on your craft. And, you know, both those girls are living proof that you can build an incredible physique if you have the desire to do so.
Yeah, she just had no idea how good she was, man. I remember I was chatting to her just before she walked out. Her first, I suppose, category was her individual posing routine. And she was the first one, so she kind of had to start in front of everyone. And I remember grabbing her side stage and just being like, all right, you're next, here's what we're going to do. And she was super, super nervous. And then when she walked off stage, she's like, oh, God, my hands are shaking. My hands are shaking. I was like, dude, your hands are shaking. That was fucking flawless. Like, it was such a great routine. And, yeah, then later to find out how young she is. Even, like, other categories, man. Like, I'll make a special mention of, like, Gemma in swimsuit. Like, another fucking incredible physique that just came up this season, first season. You know, maybe some of the best shape I've ever seen. And I think Gemma's under 23. So, like,
wow.
You know, can you imagine another 2 or 3 years of her building and coming back and standing on that pro stage? So, yeah, the future's looking good.
She's another one that won the Vic State Show, won the New South Wales State Show, comes to nationals, wins the amateur overall, gets her pro card, goes into the pro show, wins the overall pro show, gets undisputed belt. Like crazy, absolutely crazy. So, you know, we're seeing it now where these people are coming in that have incredible, you know, shape, physique, but have trained really, really hard, and you just don't know who's coming. You got no idea who's coming. And as you said, Scotty, with figure, I think it's starting to be on the up again, to be honest, because we did see a bit of a dip, but now with those ladies inspiring others, I know in our team we have some people in the future that are going to be stepping on that stage and hopefully can inspire others. I'm excited about that too. But another big thing that we had was obviously wellness. And we gave away our first wellness pro card. Actually, we gave a couple away to some amazing athletes that were well-deserving. Obviously, our first ever wellness pro cards that we've given away. But I actually think they're the first ones in Australia for natural bodybuilding, totally. So they are the first wellness pro cards for any natural federation ever given out in Australia. That was a proud moment. That was absolutely epic. And they were all three of them were absolutely amazing competitors. So I know we didn't have an undisputed pro belt for those guys because there was no technically a pro show. But, you know, we have autumn coming up. We're going to have a pro lineup there. And then we obviously have spring next year. And we'll be giving away a belt. So I'm super excited to see that grow. And as we kind of said, going into the show, we had, 15, 16 wellness competitors for that show at the national level.
There was like 9 in the open.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So super exciting for everything. But obviously next up for us is we've got Bali, but also I know this weekend is ICN Nationals. And Scotty, you're going to be there on the Saturday, is that right, when the boys are on?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be there Saturday. And
who have you got going on that one?
I've got TMG, and I'm going to be there to help out a mate as well, I think, in the morning as well.
Yes, a special
a special last minute. He's jumping into the pro lineup
Yeah, well, the list all went out, so I think the cat's out of the bag anyway, man. The list went out.
Oh, has it gone out? Yeah. So
It's gone out.
Benny's going to be doing classic. So, and I said to Nate as well last weekend that I'll be there as well because I know he's flying in on the Thursday night. So, but I'm keen to check out both of those. And then Riley's on I think it's late afternoon. The times aren't out, I don't believe, for fitness. So I'll be there for most of Saturday, I think.
Yeah,
boys are there Sunday. Yeah.
We're definitely there on Sunday. We have some girls on that day, but I'm spewing that I'm missing out on Saturday. I've got a wedding and a communion that day, so I've got two things going on that I've got to try to bounce between. I thought maybe I could slip in the door to watch that, but I had a look at the times and I can't get it done. I honestly would slip in for 5 minutes just to watch those boys on stage. Obviously, Nathan, we saw him on the weekend, but Benny Wortley, who we've just had on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, he said to me that we kind of lit a fire in him and to push.
Well, it's funny because after we went out for dinner, he was literally like the next day, not that far off of where I would need to be, and he's just been grinding.
Yeah.
And he looks fucking dangerous, man. He's gonna be lethal. And you know who else I'm looking forward to seeing in the pro lineup go throw down with Nate is Big Benny Hightongue, man. He's been looking incredible for a few weeks now. So I'm really excited he's such a great guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the nicest guys in the industry, good or bad.
And he has a similar sort of physique in that he just has that real density. It's probably a little bit shorter than Nath, but he's got a huge amount of muscle. So it'll be nice to see those guys, compared against one another. It's going to be a battle. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the Vics or the Nationals, I should say, but it's in Vic. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Because I can't be there on the day, I said to Benny, maybe I can get a sneak peek of the physique the day before on the Friday night if we catch up, if we go to the gym or whatever, we do a session. So I think we're going to have to try to get a hold of him.
Once it starts pumping up, I'll ask him to just give me a most muscular for you, and I'll just send it through.
That's the group.
You're gonna be in the church, and you're gonna be looking down like that, and kick us in. Be like, "Mate, what's wrong with you?" And you're like, "I'm just checking the weather."
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. And then obviously Sunday, MG and I will be there pretty much all day. I've got someone in fitness sports bikini. So how about you, MG? You've got someone fitness?
I've got Chin Chin doing pro fitness and pro sports. So
yeah, awesome.
Which will be good. So battle it out against some of the competitors who actually took out some NBA overalls. So it'll be good to watch.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be so good. So she's going into the pro lineup because she got that pro qualifier card that ICN do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing. So since Chin Chin's overalls at Ballarat, and of course, did really well at our first NBA show, we've pulled off about two and a bit kilos since then.
Jesus.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Chin Chin throw down with Demelza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll be quality.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a good social event too. Catching up with all the coaches,
it definitely will.
That we've just seen over the last couple of weekends and stuff. So it'll be a good little social event too for sure.
And I'm gonna have baby Talia with me as well. So.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's gonna steal the show.
Yeah, with her little pinky muff. It's game on.
Oh, that's awesome. Cannot wait. And then we're basically going to be packing to go to Bali. I know MG and I, we leave on the Wednesday. Scotty, when do you leave?
We fly out on the Tuesday morning, Jen and I and the kids. Yeah.
Perfect. And then obviously show is on Sunday. We've got bump in on Saturday, athlete check-in and tans on that day. And then Sunday's the show. That night we'll go out for a dinner with the crew and everyone that's there. And then Monday we start the retreat, which will be super exciting too. Yeah,
it's gonna be good, man.
I just posted that highlight reel of the last retreat, and it really G'd me up. I was like,
as it should work.
I want to get back into it, so it's gonna be awesome. But I think we'll leave it there, boys. I know MG, you have to run. Some things need to do, but yeah, it was an absolute epic. Nationals over the weekend. Can't wait for this weekend and then the following in Bali. Hopefully we get to see some of you guys there, and we'll chat to everyone soon.
Thanks, and thanks, boys. Take care.
Good. See you guys.